This week on Custom Culture, we are looking at Stingray. This futuristic bike is built by Jay Donovan from Bare Steel Designs. Today we are looking at what inspired Jay to create this beautiful bike and how exactly did he bring it to life.
Hey, my name's Jay Donovan from Bare Steel Design here on Vancouver Island. We're going to be chatting about Stingray.
So before we go on to Stingray, let's first find out about Jay and his project, the Bare Steel Design.
So here at the shop, my focus has been on custom motorcycle projects and kind of integrating more sculptural elements through the medium of metal shaping. Kind of focus on one-off custom motorcycle projects, whether it's just some introduction of custom bodywork or entirely scratch-built custom projects. It's just kind of exploring our relationship with these machines that we all love and ride.
Now let's come to Stingray. This motorcycle is one with a very strong sense of aesthetics. But what sets this bike apart is not just how it looks. Stingray is an electric motorcycle. Yes, a custom electric motorcycle. So let's try and uncover how exactly did this bike evolve.
Yeah, so Stingray evolved as kind of an exploration into not just the electric world, but kind of our relationship to this sort of new technology. I suppose at the time I saw a lot of electric bikes kind of falling into one of three categories. Kind of sport bikey, designed to look like a vintage cafe racer, or super futuristic. And I think Stingray kind of came about was just trying to explore the areas between those things. You know, obviously it comes across like pretty futuristic with the polished aluminum design and everything, but it was kind of about, you know, having the more rudimentary vintage appeal and tangibility, that sort of like more tactical sensation that a lot of the electric stuff kind of loses. So a lot of it was just kind of exploring that more like physical, emotional connection within the environment of electric drivetrains.
So now that we have had a glimpse of Stingray, let's actually go back to its inception. Where did the idea of Stingray really come from?
Yeah, so far it seems kind of every project almost like initiates the next one in a way, so there's always kind of traces. So I just kind of finished my first project, Manta there, the old XS. I kind of wanted to I suppose push that idea further, you know, scratch-built project, and kind of really dramatize it. And so I'd finished Manta and I'd done a few sketches, and then it was really getting introduced to Bobby down at the Haas, where these rudimentary drawings I had up on the wall I was already kind of working on, and then that was when, you know, kind of ability to really bring it into reality became real. Bobby and I started chatting about it and then kind of evolving the concept a little bit from there, and then it was just kind of head first.
Well, the bike certainly looks like a stunner, but let's not forget that this bike is electric. And one thing that comes to mind as soon as we say electric is the speed. So how fast does the Stingray really go?
So it's geared and set up to do 100. I didn't take it to 100. And I mean, as you can imagine by looking at the photos, it is essentially as terrifying as anything, but you feel like you're going fast on it.
Well, even if we do take it to top speed, it'll still be within the legal range. But speaking of legal, can you take this bike out on the street?
Yeah, so no lighting on the bike for display purposes and everything. We're able to, if it didn't have lighting on it, you can register it as essentially like a race bike. And so that was then, it doesn't need any actual inspections going through the border and everything like that. So rather than get into that, having to meet all the standards essentially, just avoided lighting, kept it really minimal. So she is not street legal.
Well, even if it has to stay in the garage, it will only make it look cooler. So we have saved the best question for last. We want to know the coolest thing about this bike.
Obviously, the bodywork was pretty fun, and adding that sculptural aspect to it, design and the concept is kind of like interwoven in there a little bit. the original idea of it was just getting all that weight kind of down around the front wheel. So obviously that big hub, the way the upper body rolls into it and the lower body rolls into it. If you look at the thing almost foreground only, bodywork, tail, you know, hub, it's just kind of that silhouette is something that I really like. Yeah, I think just that kind of concept, that sculptural concept is probably, you know, one of the cooler bits for me.